Reading is dreaming with open eyes. Good to have you again on Readers for Growth, our educational program where we promote reading culture. I am Busola Faiga Okpeolu, and on the program this week, I have with me Nicole Otobo. Welcome onto the program.
Thank you, Ma.
Ayodeji Babatunde, nice having you.
Thank you, Ma.
Binabo Ibanibo,
Thank you.
good to have you. And Miriam Abubakar.
Thank you very much.
Today's edition promises to be very, very exciting. There'll be lots to learn. What do you know about mental health? How can we curb bullying among our children? These and more. Our guest is Ameh Zion Abba. Don't go, we will be right back.
Who is Ameh Zion Abba?
Okay, thank you very much. That's my name, and I'm the founder and the president of the Mandate Health Empowerment Initiative, also the convener of the Africa Mental Health Reform Consortium with a participating member of from 13 African countries and over 150 membership, where we drive mental health reforms in terms of policy, plan, and legislation for mental health to improve, the standard of living of Africans.
Do you
Okay,
enjoy?
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you enjoy reading?
Oh, sure, I do. I enjoy reading. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning to see that there's a need to improve my thirst for reading, and I'm beginning to see how I can deliberately, cultivate it as a habit, because it opens me up to new knowledge and also how to communicate and relate with others, because when you read, you improve and you increase in knowledge, and that helps you in your communication, because when you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are.
Thank you.
What promoted you to write this book?
Okay, thanks the Lord. One of the major reasons why this book is out today, in terms of reasons, or in terms of what drove us to putting this out, is, you see, when you look at the mental health of the adolescent child, especially the adolescent Nigerian child, it's very important to understand that there are so many risk factors, there are so many causative factors that is contending with their mental health. And until the mental health of the average Nigerian child is in place, that means productivity and wellness will not be in view. And if these two are not in view, then the issue of national growth, development, or the future of the country or the continent will not be in view. And that's one of the reasons why we try to put this together and to ensure that every average Nigerian child or an adolescent across the shore of Nigeria or even across the borders of Nigeria are mentally healthy. So that's why this book is out.
Thank you.
What is mental health?
Okay, thank you very much for asking that. You see, when we talk about mental health, I know that our viewers at home will have their opinions or their different views to what exactly mental health is about. But I want to use this opportunity to maybe say that when we hear the word mental health, we're not just referring to persons who are eating from waste bins, people who are putting on racks that we could find them on the street. No. I give you a simple definition, and I'm going to drive it from the World Health Organization. They tell us clearly, in clear terms, that mental health is when you talk about well-being, and it is simply realized when an individual is able to catch up on four things. One, when an individual is able to realize his abilities or potentials. Two, when an individual is able to come up with coping mechanisms, right? The ability to deal with stress. As a matter of fact, we can never excuse any day out of stress. So when this stress or the stressors come up, the ability to cope with them, free and remain productive and remain fruitful in all that we do in this context, in all that an adolescent child or an adolescent does. And lastly, the fourth point that defines mental health is your ability to contribute, your ability to give back, your ability to find a place in giving back to your community. And the community here could be your worship center, could be your school, could be your family, could be your neighborhood. Giving back to your community will, in summation, tell that the individual is mentally healthy. So when we define mental health, it simply talks about how you think, how you feel, and how you ultimately behave, right? So that's just a summation of what mental health is about. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
It benefits to read. You grow higher when you read, and you gain wisdom when you read.
Readers who read to improve themselves, who read to educate themselves, and who read for success rule the world.
For you to grow and become a senator, you must learn how to read. Read to understand. Read as many books as you can.
Reading helps you develop yourself intellectually, academically, and otherwise.
The secret to being proficient in reading is to read every day and to read outside of your curriculum, to read novels and to read books of interest.
A well-read child is a cultured child, a successful citizen, and the future of our great country. And that's why all parents need to encourage their children to read.
Read today, lead tomorrow.
Okay, so when I went through the book, I saw something that really got me thinking. So under it, we have non-verbal bullying or other forms of bullying, and they said a way people get through non-verbal bullying is isolating and making other students dislike someone. And under anti-bullying techniques, they said you should make more friends, but like the bully has already told other people that they shouldn't talk to you, that they should keep malice with you, and like they shouldn't associate themselves more with you. So how exactly are you expected to make more friends from there?
All right, thank you for that very, very beautiful question. You see, making friends, this is something that you have to be very careful with, and you have to be very deliberate about. Making friends, you have to be careful with how you select your friends. Let me first of all say that in choosing friends, especially in a school setting, you must have known yourself. It's very important that you discover who you are, understand your personality, understand what you like, what you do not like, understand what works for you. Do you get my point?
Yes.
Now, having understand yourself, having known the kind of person you are, then look for the likes. Look for such in people or in students around you.
Yes.
Right? Now, that's the person who is bullying had already told others not to maybe make friends with you or not to want to relate with you, right?
Yes.
If you discover yourself and you find a uniqueness that is made up of you, look out for some people in that class, look out for some people in that school with such identity, with such personality, and reach out to them, okay?
Yes.
There will be a point where you will fuse together.
Yes.
Okay, do not do this with maybe a motive of trying to make sure that you win people to your side as against the wishes of the person who is bullying you.
Yes.
Just be yourself, right? Just be
Yes.
yourself, and remember that you're not trying to become somebody that you're not.
Yes.
Always remember that you first get to know yourself and remain yourself even in the effort of making new friends.
Yes.
Is
But
that okay?
yes, but actually, like, even if you're like meant to be patient,
Yes.
yes, at some point you kind of get depressed that you feel like people don't exactly like you, and then like you want to make yourself more presentable. Yes, because like I kind of noticed, like, I mean, from movies and books that I've read and from a few observations, actually, like, when people don't feel accepted or they feel like they don't belong, they try to like do stuff that they don't feel comfortable with just to feel belonging. Yes.
Yes, and that's because they are yet to really know themselves. They are yet to discover themselves. You see, at the point you discover yourself, okay, other students or other person's perspective or opinion about you will not really matter. And trying to dance to the gallery of having them or trying to be like them or having them accept you as they want to perceive you to be will not be necessary. Right? Because no matter how you want to dance to fit into who they expect you to be or expect you to become, it's just a matter of time. You will fall back to who exactly you are. Right?
Yeah.
So in order not to want to just impress persons, and hurt yourself, because anytime you find yourself trying to be someone else that you're not to impress some other persons, you will definitely be in turn hurting yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in order not to hurt yourself and to remain yourself and to optimally achieve purpose and fulfill your life, just be yourself.
Yes, be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself. All right, thank you very much, viewers. So I want to motivate you guys on reading. Why it's very important to read, and how, you could cultivate these as a hobby. Like I said earlier, when you open up yourself to reading, you expose yourself to new learnings, you expose yourself to higher knowledge that ordinarily you wouldn't have been able to understand or maybe be privy to some of those information that you will get. So one of the things I'll quickly say here is that gone are the days where they say that if you want to hide something from an African person, you put it in a book. No more. I want us to disabuse this. I want us to break the jinx that you could actually hide something from an African child if you put it in a book. So what I'm saying is you must be motivated to give it to reading. This must not necessarily be your academic books. This does not necessarily mean that you stay to just your physics, your chemistry, or your biology. Okay, reading goes beyond this. Reading is about getting materials online or physical materials that catches your interest or that you feel at any point in time has crossed your mind. Can I tell you something about reading? It is not usually, put to know that what you're reading, you're going to put to use at this very moment. But the days or the moment that you will require the information you must have gathered from the things you have read will usually come unannounced. What I mean is this: what you will give to reading today might not necessarily come knocking today that you put to use what you have learned from what you have read. But the days will come that really you will need to put to use, you will need to engage from the borders of the knowledge of what you have read before. So do not feel that, I might not need this today. I do not need this knowledge today. I don't need to read about politics. I do not need to read about mental health. I do not need to read about drugs misuse, right? You might feel that these are all out of context because it does not cut across your fashion, does not cut across your interests, right? But I want you to understand and be motivated that please give it to reading and read as much as many lines of subjects that you will come across. Now, chapter 3 is on bullying. Bullying is intimidation of a weaker person. The process of intimidating or mistreating someone weaker or in a more vulnerable situation. Bullying portrays the bully to be more powerful than the victim. Bullying is organized, opportunistic, and hidden. Once started, is likely to continue if allowed. It usually occurs over a period of time. A victim of bullying can be hurt physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Now, I'll quickly be going through the forms of bullying, the hidden nature of bullying. We'll be looking at the easy targets, effects of bullying, and we'll try to wrap up by also reading how can you tell if someone is being bullied. Also, anti-bullying techniques. So these are some of the subheadings that we'll be reading very, very briefly. Forms of bullying. Now we have three forms of bullying here. We have the physical bullying, most obvious form of bullying. Examples, we have bite, we have hit, we have kick, we have punch, we have scratch, we have hair pull, etc. Verbal bullying, a form of social aggression. This includes abusive phone calls, extortion of money or material things, name calling, malicious rumors, spiteful teasing, intimidation, and threats. The last form of bullying we have today is nonverbal bullying, which covers rude gestures, mean face, ignoring, excluding, isolating, making other students dislike someone. These are silent that use to maintain and control over victim. Victims of bullying may feel alone, may feel angry, may feel depressed, may feel afraid, may feel hated, sad, subhuman, or even trampled upon. Let's quickly go to hidden nature of bullying. The bully always threatens the victim not to tell anyone, which makes the victim experience the following. 1. Afraid of further harm. They think that if they do not tell anyone, the bully might like them after all. They do not believe that teachers can or will do anything to make the bully stop. Do not want to worry their parents. They are afraid that if their parents tell the authority, the bullying would get worse. Telling on peers is seen as bad a thing to do. Also, they sometimes feel they are to blame. Boys and girls alike are involved in bullying. The easy targets. Those who are new to the environment, in this context, those who are new to the school environment. Those who have few friends. Those who are not assertive. Effects of bullying. Victims of bullying tend to have lower self-esteem, depression, insecurity, anxious, oversensitive, and quiet. That means introverted in nature. They also tend to suffer suicidal tendencies and even death. Quickly, how can we tell if someone is being bullied? Very important. The following can be pointers. they have physical injuries, they have clothes missing or torn, they steal money to give the tormentor or replace what has been stolen from them. They have extreme mood changes. Their schoolwork decline, both in participation and also in assessment. They are reluctant to go to school. They seem to have no friends. Lastly, anti-bullying techniques. The first we have is avoid confrontation. Next is assertive body language. Assertive body language. Try using humor. Also, try using assertive language. Get an adult involved. Lastly, we have make more friends. Make more friends. So that brings us to the end of the reading of the chapter for today on bullying.
Okay, I have a question.
Fantastic.
From the bullying, it's also said that in most times the bully would be seen to be stronger. And you also said that the victims of bullying may feel isolated and alone. Could this also be a cause of mental disorder, bullying?
Yes. As a matter of fact, especially in school environment, okay, bullying can serve as a risk factor. Okay, can be a predisposing factor to mental disorder, because when a child or when a student over time is exposed or being vulnerable, to his or her tormentors, being bullied over time, you could come down with some psychological concerns, and then before you know, if it's not been managed, it can move to some mild form of depression, because you will be getting isolated. You now begin to lose interest on things that matters most and things that you also have pleasure in doing. You begin to feel guilty. You begin to blame yourself. You begin to so sorry for yourself, not being able to fit in, and then begin to blame yourself, for not being measuring up to some of your colleagues and some of your friends that are tormenting you or maybe bullying you or taking advantage of you, and making them seem in quote that they are stronger, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it could lead to a mental health condition.
But could the bully also be suffering something? Because in most cases, the bully suffered something before he started its act.
It's very possible that the perpetrators who are carrying out this bullying, might have been exposed, might have been vulnerable to maybe a domestic violence, or maybe have been exposed to some maybe a form of abuse that is leading them to begin to experiment, to begin to practice these on their fellow colleagues or their friends in school. So it's very possible that it's coming from that background. Very possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'd like to say at this point that a child's future ability to learn or to respond to some emotions like anger and anxiety is paramountly dependent on the mental wellness of that child. So it's very important that as parents at home, as guardians, please prioritize the mental well-being of your children. It's very important that we look out for the mental health of the adolescents around us, because if they are not mentally healthy, what we are looking out to getting from them in terms of academic performance, in terms of best behavior, in terms of good conduct, okay, at home and outside, it's not going to be in view, okay, until a child is mentally healthy, that is, having understood and found their abilities and their potentials, having come up with coping mechanisms, having understood that they need to be also productive and contribute. It's going to be very difficult for that child, whether in school or home, to be productive. And one of the things I would like to encourage our parents at home is to ensure that your children are mentally healthy, so that productivity and well-being will always be in view, and you will enjoy the best of them, especially in terms of academic performance. Thank you very much, and I wish you that together, we all build a mentally healthy society.
A big thank you to our guest, Ameh Zion Abba, for giving us some of his time to be on the program. And a big thank you to Nicole.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Ayodeji,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Binabo,
Thank you.
good to have you. Thank you for coming. Miriam,
Thank you very much.
and to you out there, thank you for having stayed tuned to Readers for Growth. Next week is another date. I am Busola Faiga Okpelu. Read today, lead tomorrow. Bye for now.